Prove he have more than 10 fights in the UFC right now, and the number one things what he improved is experience. Now he have more experience in the UFC, in the hard fight, and I'm also grow up, take the belt. I have many hard fight. That's why I have more experience.
And absolutely, he's a tougher test than a grindy wrestler. Shavkat's phenomenal everywhere on the feet. He can grapple, he can wrestle, he can beat you on the feet with submissions, with strikes. He can beat you on the ground with submission and strikes. I just feel like it would have been a nice box to tick off, to go out there and show the world that I can shut down people's wrestling against that American style and then go forward and fight someone like himself. And I'm very excited to have this opportunity.
Of course, we're all team about the hard work. That's why the sacrifice. That's why two guys one night fight for the title, because we're hard worker. We work more than everybody. That's why we're here today.
The tension is escalating at UFC 330, where the verbal sparring is becoming just as intense as the fight itself. When Islam Makhachev was asked what he would do first to celebrate if he emerged victorious and ended the night holding both belts, the question opened the door to another intriguing moment between the fighters.
Если у тебя будет 2 пояса в конце вечера, что ты делаешь, чтобы отпраздновать это?
Wow. Maybe all of you guys can come to Dagestan and we celebrate together. For 2-3 years.
The recent press conference delivered exactly the kind of tension UFC fans had been anticipating.
Guys, I'm the best fighter in the world. That's why I have to show who I am this Saturday night. And I will show you, inshallah.
The UFC 330 press conference offered a glimpse into the intensity awaiting inside the octagon, with fierce face-offs, brutal predictions, and confident declarations setting the stage for a potentially explosive showdown. The biggest spotlight, of course, fell on Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry. The two fighters, with sharply contrasting styles and very different paths to this moment, arrived overflowing with confidence.
Going. Every single one of you is talking about me. Every single one of you is here to see me.
This press conference was particularly intriguing because neither fighter was willing to concede even an inch psychologically. Islam Makhachev arrived with the reputation of a dominant champion, known for breaking opponents down with suffocating grappling, relentless pressure, elite control, and increasingly dangerous striking.
On the scale, Ian Machado Garry, official weight class 71. And his opponent,
While Ian Garry stepped into the media spotlight carrying the confidence of a fighter who genuinely believes his size, distance management, movement, timing, and ability to stay composed under pressure can create a nightmare for Makhachev. From the opening questions, the central debate was obvious: can Ian Garry keep the fight where he wants it, or will Islam eventually force him into the kind of positions where technique and physical control take over?
And I'll talk to him, I'll dance in his face, I'll do whatever I want, because the truth is, when we get locked into that cage one day, he's never going to be able to deal with me. But the truth is, I have a target on my back. I have the ability to stand here and shoot shots at anyone I want, because this is my job, and they have the opportunity in return. So for me, when you attack people in my circle when they don't deserve it, that's out of line. And look,
the press conference immediately became even more interesting when the conversation shifted toward Islam's move into a new division and the challenge of dealing with a fighter like Garry. Then came an unexpected question: if he got a flat tire on their way to the bout, which UFC fighter would he call to pick him up?
Как называется?
Flat tire.
Well, when the tire flat, you have to put something to put your car up, and I need some big guy to hold my car. And maybe DC can hold my car, and I change the first.
Islam has built his reputation by forcing opponents to fight his fight. He does not simply hunt for takedowns. He uses pressure, positioning, clinch work, trips, body lock, and suffocating top control to gradually strip away an opponent's options.
Philly, we got Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry, and we got a great summer slated. So I'm looking forward to it.
UFC 330 in Philadelphia. That feels like a big. Is that announced? Is that known or no? Is that something that we just learned? I don't know if.
Yeah, we're coming back. This is the first time we're back in Philly since 2019, I think. I love going to Celtics games in Philly. The Philly fans are awesome, man. Every time I go in there and I got my Celtics shit on, the Philly fans are like, "You got some balls wearing that in here. UFC suck."
But Garry represents a completely different kind of problem. His height, reach, movement, and ability to fight from long range give him weapons that can make closing the distance extremely dangerous. Garry knows that if he allows Islam to walk him toward the fence without resistance, the fight could quickly become a grappling battle. That is why so much attention has been placed on Garry's footwork and defensive wrestling. During the press conference, every question about the matchup seemed to return to the same issue: who controls the geography of the octagon? If Garry controls the center and forces Islam to cross open space, he can potentially turn the fight into a striking contest.
Plants and women for the most part. But the Ian Garry Islam fight, what exactly are you expecting from it? Ian's made a lot of headlines because he did a podcast and said, I guess, the opposite of what Josh Hokett said. He said women should run the world and stuff like that. But the fight itself, how much of a challenge do you think Ian is for Islam?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight, actually. If you look at what Ian Garry has been able to do, he frustrates people. His takedown defense has been excellent, and we'll see if he can stay on his feet with, obviously if he can stay off the ground, he poses a serious threat to Islam.
But if Islam gets inside, connects his hands, and begins chaining attacks together, the entire fight could change within seconds. Islam, however, did not appear particularly concerned about the physical advantages being discussed. Instead, his confidence suggested that he believes his experience and fight IQ will allow him to solve whatever problems Garry presents. That confidence is important because Islam has faced elite strikers before, and his success has often come from refusing to fight them on their preferred terms. Rather than standing at range and trying to prove he is the better striker, Islam's biggest weapon is his ability to make opponents react to the threat of the takedown. The moment an opponent starts worrying about being taken down, their striking stance can change. Their movement can become predictable, and openings begin to appear. Islam can then use that hesitation to enter the clinch, attack the leg, pressure his opponent toward the cage, or simply force them backward. This is what makes the matchup with Garry so fascinating. Garry cannot afford to overcommit to offense because every missed combination could give Islam an opportunity to change levels. But he also cannot become too defensive because giving Islam too much space and initiative could allow Makhachev to dictate the pace. Then came one of the biggest themes of the entire press conference: confidence. Ian Garry has never been shy about believing in himself, and this event was no different. He spoke with the kind of confidence that suggested he does not view himself as an underdog walking into a champion's world. Instead, he appeared to believe that Islam is entering his world by accepting a fight against a bigger, longer opponent who has spent years developing his own complete skill set. Garry's message was essentially that size alone is not what makes him dangerous. His timing, accuracy, movement, distance control, and ability to make opponents miss are all part of the equation. He believes that if he can keep Islam reaching, resetting, and chasing, the champion will eventually begin taking risks. And when an elite fighter starts taking risks against a long, accurate striker, the consequences can be severe.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the Welterweight Championship of the world, introducing the challenger, the former undisputed lightweight champ, Islam Makhachev!
Thank you, babe.
Hang on. Yes.
That's a bit of a clever book.
Yes.
154 and a half.
154 and a half, the official weight for Islam Makhachev.
Thank you, babe.
Okay, go, Chute.
171.
171, the official weight for Ian Machado Garry.
Thank you, baby.
Islam Makhachev taking on Ian Garry. Who have you both got in that fight?
Ooh, it's good question, bro. I like Ian. Puta que pariu, velho.
Você acha que vai ganhar?
Não, eu vou dos dois lados. I think Ian. Mano, fugiu o nome dele?
Makhachev.
Não.
Ian Garry.
Ian Garry, yeah. I prefer Ian Garry. Ian Garry. I have been little problem find my chin, yeah? Okay.
The fight is almost here, but before Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry finally step inside the octagon, there is one final test every championship fighter must face, the official weigh-ins.
I love Islam. Islam Makhachev said, I keep telling these guys that you cannot wrestle for 3 months and think that you're going to be able to compete with guys that have been wrestling their whole life. Guys like Khabib Nurmagomedov, myself, John Jones, Islam. With that being said, though, what is Ian Garry supposed to do? You can tell that he has a high level of respect for Ian Garry.
UFC 330 is set for Saturday, August 15th, 2026 at the Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia.
How much weight do you cut?
Today morning, my weight 180.
You're massive.
All fighters who fight 155, minimum, they have 178, 177.
Yeah. What do you get to when you're not in camp? And you're training every day?
I'm not that guy who eat everything, you know. I don't like the sugar. I don't drink cola like maybe 4 or 5 years.
Next is Coca-Cola with ice.
My weight maximum 182.
Reigning UFC welterweight champion Islam Makhachev will defend his title against #1 contender Ian Machado Garry. And while the actual fight will determine who walks away as champion, their weigh-in represents the final moment when both men stand across from each other before the cage door closes.
Champion of all time, now you are moving up to welterweight. Give us your thoughts on as a fighter and what tomorrow night means to you.
One day to my dream, to biggest fight in my life. I'm ready. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Good luck to you, sir. The challenger, ladies and gentlemen.
It is where months of preparation, dieting, conditioning, weight cutting, and mental pressure all come together in a single moment. Makhachev arrives at this fight as the reigning welterweight champion.
Awesome, boy. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. How you feeling?
Soon is going to the camp in Vegas. Yeah, we're in the big house.
Having already established himself as one of the most dominant fighters of his generation, Garry arrives as the #1 contender, carrying the confidence of a fighter who believes his size, range, movement, and striking can create problems Makhachev has not faced before. Officially, this is a 5-round welterweight championship contest, making the scale one of the most important stops of fight week.
I want to be just double champ. I just fighting like, you know, just for the win, you know. I don't do some things to finish because I understood I win every round and just want to take the second belt. But if this like regular fight, if we fight second times, I see I can finish him like every round.
For Makhachev, the weigh-in is about more than simply stepping onto a scale. Moving up to welterweight has already changed the physical dimensions of his career. He is no longer competing in the lightweight division where he spent years building his championship legacy. Now, he is defending a title in a heavier division.
I want to walk around 87 kg. Fight week, I want to be like 83. Finally, become a little bit big now. Very hard to gain weight. I use like creatine, protein, eat more. First time ever in my life, I use the creatine. First supplement which I feel something's changed, you know. Recover very fast, gain weight.
Against a challenger who naturally brings a very different physical profile, their weight cut, recovery, and ability to perform at welterweight all become part of the story. Makhachev has already shown that his skill set can translate to the division, but fight week brings an entirely different kind of pressure.
You not want to be champion with good arms. You have to do everything. And sometimes I don't understand, you know. Some of the striking guy come to the gym and he still all days he did striking.
Yeah.
But you already have good striking. Go to wrestle. Spend hours in the single leg, double leg, defense. I always give them advice. Hey, you already have the striking. Nobody take your striking.
Yeah.
but improve what you have weakness point, you know.
See, that's why you're the pound for pound best fighter in the world.
Every pound matters, every hour matters, and every decision during the final stages of preparation can affect what happens inside the octagon. The official weigh-in is therefore the final public confirmation that he has completed the first part of his mission. But another man stands on the opposite side of that equation, and his own journey to the scale may be just as important.
You know, just always tell, you know, somebody, like people, like fighters can beat me, you know, but who can beat me? Who training more than me? But I mean, nobody training more. That's why I have, like, mentally I'm ready, physically I'm ready, like, and I can fight with any that.
Ian Machado Garry enters UFC 330 facing an entirely different challenge. As the #1 contender, this is his opportunity to take the championship from one of the most accomplished fighters in the sport. Garry has built his reputation around his striking, his ability to control distance, his height and reach, and his unwavering confidence in his own game.
Don't settle then. It is the highest level grappling. Like, I can watch those as a tutorial, bro. And you know what I find funny, bro? Like the people that go like, what do we want to do in the street to hold a guy?
Against Makhachev, those characteristics become especially important because the champion's greatest strength is not simply one technique. Makhachev can pressure, wrestle, control positions, attack submissions, and force opponents to work continuously. Garry therefore has to make the champion fight his fight rather than allowing Makhachev to dictate the pace. But before any of that can happen, Garry has to make the championship weight. The official weigh-in will be the moment when all of those physical questions become visible to the public. And then comes the face-off. This is where the weigh-ins become more than a technical requirement. Two fighters who have spent weeks preparing to hurt each other suddenly stand only inches apart, surrounded by cameras, reporters, coaches, officials, and thousands of fans watching every movement. There is no cage between them. There is no referee. There is no 5-minute round clock. It is simply the champion and the challenger staring at each other before the biggest fight of their careers.
What motivates me is if you step in the cage and you're not ready, so I'm gonna smash your face, you know. That's why I have to be focused. I have to still training hard, and you know, it's good for my health.
Of course.
If you step there and you're tired or not ready, somebody gonna go like very hard when I was.
For Makhachev, the message is obvious. He has been here before. He understands championship pressure, and he knows exactly what is waiting for him. For Garry, the moment represents something completely different. This is the opportunity he has been working toward, and standing opposite the champion at the weigh-in makes the title fight feel real in an entirely new way. The size difference is also one of the major visual storylines going into this fight. Garry is known for being an unusually tall and rangy welterweight, while Makhachev's reputation has been built around his ability to close the distance and turn striking exchanges into grappling situations.
I was dreaming to become UFC champion. After that, when I have most UFC title defending the lightweight, I want to be like double champion. Now when I'm the double champion, I have like 16 or 17 fight win streak with Anderson Silva. We have same. And I have to fight one more time to beat his win streak, you know. Maybe something like this.
That contrast will make the weigh-in face-off particularly interesting because fans will finally see the two championship fighters standing directly opposite each other without the distance created by interviews or press conferences. The physical dimensions tell one story, but the psychological battle tells another. Garry wants Makhachev to believe he cannot catch him. Makhachev wants Garry to understand that height and reach mean very little once the champion gets his hands on him. That tension is exactly what makes the face-off so important.